Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me for the latest dearly departed Premier League preview for round 13. Yes, we have only yesterday just reviewed round 12, but this is the week, isn't it? The first one, Saturday, midweek, Saturday. Amazon have got all the games. I'm sure they've come up with some pithy marketing name for it. But essentially, Premier League games are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, Saturday, etc. So we get a whole week. We're not even to mention me doing my championship stuff as well. It's a 3-game week. It seems like every week since about September has been a 3-game week in the championship. What you're going to do, hey? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to try and keep up. So here comes the preview for tonight's games. As ever, tonight, Wednesdays and Thursdays games, that is, of course, as ever for our dearly departed teams. Who are our dearly departed? They are the teams that I have covered in the past doing my championship work, and we have kept the relationship going with those subscribers and those fans and those clubs. Indeed, I'm talking 18-19 promotion winners who've stayed in the Premier League. That is Sheffield United and Aston Villa, and last season's promoted teams, that being Leeds United, West Brom and Fulham. I think you all know that by now, so we will move on. But before we do, we will say thank you to our fan sponsor for all of the Dearly Departed shows, which is our good friend J Coyle. Dearly Departed, also known as Ben, couldn't bear to lose us. Absolutely not. There are the fixtures for this week, whatever Amazon are calling it, the Christmas pile-on, shall I call it. So, it's Tuesday morning as we're recording this, and it is Wolves-Chelsea at 6 tonight. Then our dearly departed games, as I wonderfully found out on SofaScore, with the blue bells highlighted by the right-hand side there. Manchester City versus West Brom. Ouch. Tomorrow night, we have Arsenal-Southampton, then another dearly departed Leeds-Newcastle, Leicester-Everton, all at 6 o'clock. Then Fulham and Brighton is dearly departed, and Liverpool-Spurs. I'm sure Amazon will be very excited about the figures for that one. And West Ham Palace. Then, on Thursday, we've got another 2 dearly departed. That's Villa, Burnley, and Sheffield United, Manchester United. Just if anybody's interested, we'll go through all those 5 games in a second. For watch-alongs, I'm going to stick with Championship this week. And the Championship have gone earlier to counter-programme with Amazon. They're going at 5:30, so I won't be doing Dearly Departed watch-alongs this week. Indeed, it will be Championship on Tuesday and Wednesday, QPR Stoke and Derby Swansea. Right, let's get into the actual action. And I think it was Thursday night, wasn't it? We're all over the place with this, aren't we? We worked from the top downwards, not chronologically, so it's going to be Aston Villa versus Burnley. Please get your ideas for this one, your predictions in via the comments. You can see Villa in 10th on, however, 1.8 points per game, 18 points from 10 and 6 victories. And we know that their points per game has them better than 10th in the league, but they're 2 games behind most teams, aren't they? Albeit Manchester United and Manchester City, they've got games in hand. Indeed, one of Aston Villa's games in hand is against Manchester City, the other against Newcastle. So basically, we're saying Villa on paper there are a comfortable top 10 team. Literally, well, they're a top 10 team, but with the points per game, they're probably slightly more comfortable than just 10th. And they come off the back of Wolves 0, Villa 1. So excellent fight back there after 2 straight defeats. I keep describing West Ham as a booby trap for all our dearly departed teams. They just keep beating them, don't they? So the run now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 games on the screen up there. It's 4 wins and 4 defeats. So cut that right down the middle. That's 1.5 points per game. Is it going to get you into the top 6 or 7? Probably not in the Premier League, in a 20-team league. Get you a bit closer in the Championship. You'd just be on the edge of the playoffs with that. But let's just say, big picture, even if they carry on 1.5 points per game, that's fine for Villa. We just got to go big picture. Not only did they nearly go bust about 3 years ago, but they were in the Championship, then just survived the Premier League. This is fine, and Villa are doing a decent enough job. They would, I'm sure, love to emulate Burnley's stay in the Premier League. I'm sure they'd like to do it their way, if you know what I'm saying. But Burnley just starting to look more like the old Burnley. You can see over the last 5 games there, they've scored 8 points, including 1-0 wins there against Arsenal and Palace, 0-0 draws, 1-1 draws. So they're starting to nick wins, get clean sheets. Obviously, the outlier in the middle of that is a 5-0 defeat away at Manchester City. But hey, I think we can safely understand that. And if you look, in fact, the 3 defeats there in the last 8 games are Spurs, Chelsea, and Manchester City. So Burnley will be quite happy to get into that position. Okay, lose to the elite clubs, but start getting clean sheets, draws, and victories against, the bottom half and particularly the bottom 6. I don't know, where does Villa stack up in that? Is this something that Burnley would be targeting? Probably will, given it's a relatively young Premier League team in that Villa run in the 2nd season up in this stint. So there's the Burnley team that did indeed go and beat Arsenal. And of course, Pope and Tarkowski and me, quality at the back, Taylor, Lowton. And then some experience there, Brady and Westwood with Brownhill added and the youngster McNeil, Rodriguez and Wood with our Championship hat on as well. Look at that, Wood, Rodriguez, Brownhill, Brady, just everybody brought in from the Championship, really, isn't it? That's where they tend to shop, and they do a very, very good job. Obviously, expect it to be tight, expect it to be difficult to play against. It should be a good battle, this one. Villa have been good defensively, so I wonder if it will be a low scorer. There, again, we need to look at Jacob Ramsey in relation to Villa's last 11 that they put out. Martinez, Cash, Konza, Mings, Target will all play if they're fit. Douglas Luiz won't. So that is an interesting one. I don't know what Dean Smith will do to solve that, because you do want the stopper in there. Yes, there are good midfield players. Conor Hourihane, who's very much a sort of passer. A John McGinn could you put across. I wonder whether he brings in Nakamba to sit in front where Douglas Luiz does such a good job there for Villa. I wonder if Ramsey retains his place. A lot will depend, of course, on whether Ross Barkley returns. El Ghazi, does he have a shout front right, given he came on and scored the winner? I don't know. Watkins and Grealish will definitely play. So it's going to be an interesting one. Does maybe Nakamba, say Barkley is back, I think you'll get something like Nakamba and McGinn, then with Grealish, Barkley, Trezeguet, El Ghazi, Traore, whoever down the right, Watkins up top. If Barkley's not there, it becomes probably a 4-3-3, and you try and strengthen in numbers in the centre of midfield. So you may end up with, I don't know whether Ramsey will start a second game or whether Hourihane comes in there with McGinn, Nakamba, or one other. So I think if Barkley's back, it goes 4-2-3-1, and if he's not, it's 4-3-3. Let me know what's happening there and get your predictions in. I think Villa could sneak this one with my dearly departed hat on. I'll go for a low-scoring victory for the Villains. Optimistic as ever. Get your thoughts in via the comments. On we go to Leeds versus Newcastle, where we could do with a win for Leeds here, for our friends who are Leeds fans who follow the channel and the dearly departed videos. They're a bit deflated after the defeat against West Ham. We've said in the review that Leeds maybe conceded a load of chances, didn't they, against Chelsea? But that was Chelsea. I think this one might have been one of the more disappointing nights of the season, hasn't it, against West Ham? So second straight defeat there. Worries about defending set plays. And Newcastle as tall as West Ham, I'm not sure they are. But it's only 1 win in the last 6 for Leeds and 4 defeats, only 4 points in 6. That will see you start to slide, and Leeds indeed have gone to 14th. And again, it's one of those worries. I know it feels like a cliche and the same narrative being hammered out over and again, but it's a pragmatic manager. There's a lot of them in the Premier League, and you can see why they get hired, given that the owners want the teams to stay in the league. They don't expect them to challenge the Champions League teams, but they like a Bruce or I suppose Nuno, that's unfair, but a Hodgson, etc., to be able to do that job. So let's hope it doesn't play out that way. I would say, though, when you're stacking up, say, a Wolves or a Leicester or a Palace that Leeds have lost to, I think there's a bit less quality in this Newcastle team than there is in those. Can they execute as well as those teams did? Newcastle there are, however, in 12th, and they have won back-to-back games there. In fact, they've got 3 wins in 5. Good at home, but did beat Palace away, didn't they? You can see wins at home against Burnley and West Brom and Everton as well, who are expected to finish a bit higher up than some of those other teams we've mentioned. They did go under to Southampton and to Chelsea, Manchester United. So are they susceptible to more attacking, flowing teams? Leeds fans will hope so, won't they? Because that'd be the narrative that would produce a Leeds victory. Indeed, Newcastle in the last game, 4-4-2. Darlow, Kraft, Hayden, Clark, Lewis across the back. Can they exploit those fullbacks, I wonder, Leeds? They try that a lot, don't they, with the overloads down the side. Richie Almiron wide. Shelvey and Longstaff, can they outnumber in midfield too there? I wonder. Joe Linton and Wilson up top. There's the worry, isn't it? That with Joe Linton and Wilson, you've got, if it is a front two, and we know Leeds will attack and leave space at the back, and they can get them into positions quickly. If the instruction is from Steve Bruce, defend, but when it turns over, I want the 2 wide players and the 2 forwards on the ball early. Get them on the ball. I wonder whether that will be a clear instruction and trying to exploit those spaces. West Ham did manage to do that. West Ham also, the first kind of team we've seen stick Ben Rama in as a number 10, occupying the same space as Calvin Phillips. Steve Bruce has been around a long time. I wonder whether he'll try and drop a number 10 in rather than a front 2, or indeed whether we'll see other managers try that methodology. Dwight Gale came off the bench and scored there. Interesting player, Gale. Does he get a go at the Premier League? Now, we discussed that in the review video. Leeds there, so Koch is still going to be out, as I understand. So it is likely to be Meslier, Cooper and Ayling as the centre halves. I don't know about Llorente. If he can return, then obviously that makes a difference there. It looked like Bielsa wasn't happy with the sides of his team against West Ham, and that's where we got the chopping and the changing. Dallas played at right back, didn't he? And so did Shackleton, and then Dallas went to left back, and I know Harrison played left, and then Rafinha had a go, and Costa came on, and switchy, swappy all over the place. So, be interesting to see. I think, if you look down the middle of the team, I think it will be, and again, I don't know about Llorente, forgive me, let me know in the comments. It'll definitely be Phillips, Click, Rodrigo, Bamford, Cooper. Where if there's another centre-back returning, Meslier obviously as well, then Ayling won't play there. Just interesting to see his solutions down the side. And has teacher's pet Pablo Hernandez fallen out with Bielsa after that? What should we say? A little bit of a tantrum, wasn't it, when he got substituted in one of the games we covered on the watch on whether he could make a return. We've seen him in the early days, Bielsa, in the first season when I covered Leeds. We used to see Hernandez play wide and cut into the half position very effectively. So that's also an option down the side. Little less pace and mobility, but hey, hell of a load of skill and passing ability. big style there with Hernandez. So it'd be interesting to see. We always question what changes Bielsa will make, and then he ends up making very, very few. He tends to go for continuity over. Again, let's put my optimistic hat on in this one, and I'm going to, flog the dead horse that Newcastle might have a little bit less in terms of quality than Palace. Is there an Eze or a Zaha in that team? Is there a Barnes Madison or a Vardy in that team, or a Raul Jimenez? No. So there's my out. So I'm gonna go. I want dearly departed all the way this midweek round. So I'll go for a Leeds win as well. I want Villa and Leeds victorious in this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, team news, predictions, etc. On we go. Come on. Can I predict the third one here? Fulham versus Brighton. This is an absolute vital game at the foot of the table, because I keep talking about the low tide. I keep talking about Fulham being a developing team. However, the only option for our dearly departed bottom three of Sheffield United, Fulham and West Brom, our only option at the moment is they've got to get above Burnley and Brighton. It's the only option of getting out, isn't it? Everyone else looks a little bit further on. Maybe others do get dragged in as we go. At the moment, that looks unlikely given how low the point scoring is at the bottom, which makes games like these absolutely vital. And we did West Brom Brighton as a watch along, didn't we? And 1-1, and victories not happening. Sheffield United Fulham 1-1. Okay, West Brom got the victory over Sheffield United in the end, and Fulham got the victory over West Brom. So they're where you can jump up, and this is one of them, isn't it? So a Fulham victory would pop them onto 11 points, and with Burnley and Villa playing on Thursday night, isn't it? Then they would be nicely positioned as the week goes on and ask the questions, especially given West Brom and Sheffield United we're going to talk about playing. The two Manchester clubs, Fulham, in those last 6 games, have 7 points, which is great. And if they can keep that going, then they will move out. And in those last 6 games, they have played Leicester, Everton, Manchester City and Liverpool as well. So the trend is upwards for Fulham. Optimism abounds. For Brighton, less so. Look, how many games have I got them there? 4, 6, 8, 9. 1 win in 9, that one away at Villa, which I thought was a bit of a surprise as well. And into the bargain there, who have they had? Everton, Palace, and couldn't win. West Brom, and couldn't win. Spurs, fine. Burnley, they couldn't beat. Villa, they did beat. Liverpool, whatever, yeah. Southampton, they lost, and Leicester, they lost. So they're a team that can be got at, it appears, in this current moment. That's what Potter and Brighton are doing. Ryan, Veltman, White, Dunk and Burn in a back four with Basuma and Gross. Jana Bakush, if I'm pronouncing that off the front right there. Mopai is a 10, really? March and Welbeck is the team. We have seen him play a 3, and tweak about he's obviously not found the formula and obviously not getting wins at the moment. So, fingers crossed again with my dearly departed hat on that we've got a trending up dearly departed team against a trending down Brighton team, and Fulham are at home as well. There's a big fingers crossed in this one, isn't there? Areola in goal for Fulham. Look, we talked about this system a lot, haven't we? That Reed, a lot is expected of him to do both attacking and defending. But this is not going to change after the Liverpool performance, isn't it? Adarabio, Anderson, Aina, Robinson, who's more an orthodox fullback. Reed, more a, basically a forward. Converted forward. He was a winger, wasn't he, for Bristol City, and then went and played up front before leaving Bristol City. It was Cardiff he went to, wasn't it? Obviously, Graham Potter will have this scouted and will feel, can I shut down the right-hand side? Ergo, can I shut down Fulham and Bobby Reed? Especially dovetailing with Lookman and Loftus-Cheek up the top there. So, maybe good balance, though, if Lookman is left-hand side based and Reed is right-hand side based. Loftus-Cheek off Cavaliero, who is not Mitrovic, but working well up top for Fulham. Get your thoughts in, but I think you know where I'm going. I'm going for a clean sweep here. Let's go for a Fulham win. They are trending upwards. That's right. I am predicting. Look at the fixtures though. Burnley at home, Newcastle at home, and Brighton at home. Come on, let me have it this time. I'm predicting a Fulham win. 3 dearly departed wins. Will it ever happen? I wonder. Can they all play themselves? Get your thoughts in the comments. Fulham versus Brighton. Right. Here stops the optimism as we reach Manchester City versus West Brom. This is a difficult one, isn't it? West Brom only 1 win this season. That was against Sheffield United, who are having the start from hell, aren't they? Well, I don't even think you can call it a start after 12 games. The season from hell. And, well, look, you just don't see West Brom getting anything from this one, do you? Manchester City, I mean, they did a lot of analysis on Manchester City after the Manchester derby, saying, look, are they going back to basics and working on being defensively solid and then sprinkling the magic back in as they go? The results would intimate that. Look at that. Clean sheet, 1 conceded, the 2 against Spurs, and then 3 other clean sheets. So 4 clean sheets in the last 6, and 1 conceded in the other game, which was a penalty, was it, against Liverpool? I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. And the key thing here is in home games against Fulham and Burnley, they've won 5-0 and 2-0, so an aggregate score of 7-0. And then factor in an away game there against Sheffield United. They're punishing the lower teams in this division, aren't they? And West Brom have to travel to the Etihad on the back of 2 straight defeats. The 5-1 obviously is coloured by the red card to Matt Pereira, who will still be suspended. If I've got that right, violent conduct will be 3-gamer. So it's 5 defeats in 6. And was the win sustainable against Sheffield United? Not really. Sheffield United created about 6 big chances, didn't they? Didn't take any of them. So this is going to be tricky. Well, there's the Man City team. Let's just get that out of the way. Ederson, Stones and Diaz. Are they trying to build a partnership there? And Guardiola can just coach Stones into the consistency that people question. He's still no age, is he? Stones, Cancelo and Walker, consistent and a bit of experience down the right-hand side. Rodri, Fernandinho, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling, Jesus. Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling, Jesus. I just don't know what you do if you're a promoted team and you're coming up against that lot. I guess you just say, look, we'll work on our bits. Here's your information on them. Try and stop them if you can. But the best players in the world have been trying to stop De Bruyne and Sterling, particularly for years. And in the Premier League, Mahrez as well. So, I mean, wow. So for West Brom, Johnston, last game, Ajayi, Ivanovic, O'Shea came in. Furlong, great goal from him in that one. Phillips playing wing-back. We questioned, is that move out the Scott Parker playbook? Gallagher and Sawyers, Kravinovic joined them. So more of a midfield 3. I wonder, when you go away to Man City, do you just stick Livermore in with Sawyers and Gallagher there and say, look, let's 5-4-1 this mother and try and get a draw, basically. I know that sounds incredibly negative and not why anyone ever plays a game of football or goes to watch a game of football, but guys, it is what it is, isn't it? They're without Pereira, so Robinson and Grant, you got Dejan Garner in reserve there and Krissy. So yeah, you just don't want to see the teams come out, and maybe Gibbs comes in for Phillips as an orthodox left back, and Livermore comes in for Kravinovic, and you know what you're getting here. It's going to be a massed ranks of defence, and you're sacrificing possession and territory to try and get a point. But we also know if you go and play Guardiola's Man City away with Sterling, De Bruyne, Mahrez and Jesus up front, that it's probably not going to end well if you've got West Brom's resources and you've just been promoted out of the Championship. Look, sorry West Brom fans, I've predicted 3 victories but defeat. And I've got Kevin De Bruyne triple captained in my fantasy team this week. So that's what I expect to happen. And look, if this is an absolute crap house from West Brom and they win 1-0 with 17% possession and 1 set play and no big chances, I'll come on here and give Slaven Bilic the biggest round of applause, standing ovation. But It's going to be tricky. I'm going for a Manchester City win. Get your predictions in via the comments. Last one, Sheffield United versus Manchester United. Manchester United with 4 straight victories and a draw against Manchester City. Look, they are all over the shop, aren't they? A complete mess. We hear Gary Neville and Roy Keane just confused talking about them because it's been sort of not play very well. Pogba does something brilliant. Not play very well. Rashford does something brilliant. Not play very well. Fernandes does something brilliant. Greenwood does something brilliant. It's been bailed out by quality, which is... It's fine to win with quality, but to be bailed out with quality, we're actually not playing well. You know, did Arsenal rely on Thierry Henry? Yes, but did they play badly every week and him bail them out? No. You know, we've seen this. Did Liverpool rely on Steven Gerrard? Maybe sometimes, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? That you need to actually play well into the bargain. So recent results, they've scored a lot of goals there. 3s against Everton and Southampton, who are an informed team, aren't they? And West Ham are also an informed team. And then that goalless draw, a bit of a dour one, where both teams put the white flag up and said, we'll take a point, give us a point, and off we go, happy days. Sheffield United, I don't need to read it out, do I? 6 straight defeats. And the real big worry against Southampton there was he's thrown more stuff at the wall. We'll look at the team in Wilder. I'm not criticising it for doing it. You're just not going to get me criticised, Chris Wilder, this season after what I've covered the last few seasons, unless he does some completely balmy tactic. Look, I will criticise him. But big picture, the bloke's worked wonders and has credit in the bank with me particularly. But no shots on target in that game is a damning stat. You're just not going to win, are you? So, and there was the solution for Blades there. Ramsdale, look, Basham and Egan will always play. The whole has been Jack O'Connell. He tried Jagielka in the last game, and I have to say, I think the first goal, Jagielka heads it up in the air, and the second one deflects off him. So whether that was Jagielka, wrong place, wrong time, or it was the wrong selection, I don't know. He's very experienced, and I think that was what Wilder was going for. But we've seen Keane Bryan in there. We've seen Jack Robinson in there. We've seen Ender Stevens tuck inside. He just hasn't found anyone as good as Jack O'Connell, has he? So we'll see what he does there. I hope he keeps Stevens at left wing back because that's a help attacking. Baldock as well. Berger will play. He's tried Fleck and Ampadu now, so you could still... I don't know if Norwood's fit. He's not on the bench there. Osborne's been a runner. Up top, McBurney seems to have the shirt. And Billy Sharp came in and started. A rare start for him. So essentially, you're looking at the left centre-back position, one of the central midfield positions, and one up top. Maybe if Lys Mousset is a little bit fitter, he'll come in up top. Rhian Brewster, as well, is he worth a start yet? I don't know how well he's training, so we'll see on Brewster as well. It's tricky, isn't it? Because then you go through the Man United team. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, McTominay, Fred. Okay, is that the weakest area in the team? Possibly. But then Greenwood, Fernandes, Pogba and Rashford. And they're just players that, whatever you think of Solskjaer or how well Man United are playing, again, Greenwood, Fernandes, Pogba and Rashford, they'll win you the game. If you give them a chance, they will win you the game. And that's the worry with Sheffield United, where they're not playing with confidence and they're making mistakes and mistakes are being punished. That's what happens when you're at the bottom of the league and you're just a little millisecond slower of doubt in your head. You're just a metre further back than you should be with the doubt. You're just waiting for that mistake to happen and be punished. And it's hard to be bulletproof when you've lost all your games, but you've got to try to. Obviously, they've drawn one, haven't they? But look, I'm obviously going to call this a Manchester United victory. Sadly, I can see the misery continuing. Although, when it does come for Sheffield United, it probably will be out of the blue, won't it? It'll be one we don't expect them to win, and they'll go ahead and they'll get a win. It feels like they need to go 2-0 up in a game to do this, doesn't it? And even the tension will still be there where, as the winless run continues, it just gets harder and harder and harder, and you start to accept a draw, don't you? You say, oh, well, at least we're not losing. So that's the difficulty with the mindset and the confidence. But I'm afraid, Blades fans, I am going to go for a Manchester United win. Get your thoughts in via the comments. That's our show. I'm starting to do bonus content on each of the shows now over on Patreon. So if you are a Patreon, I'm now going to do a couple more minutes on this and a bit of a summary of what I've said. So do go and check that out if you are a Patreon. And if you're not a Patreon, please go ahead and sign up. We're trying to grow the channel here on YouTube. However, I want to give my Patreons, there's loads of them as well, fantastic people who have supported, start giving them some bang for their buck and a bit more exclusive content over there. So www.patreon.com/BenjaminBloom to sign up there. And all the rest of the plugs will be in the advert, which will play in just a second after I've said over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/BenjaminBloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.